Can you start off just by telling us like what that meant to you, what that moment was like, and just kind of take us through the emotion of the moment?
Yeah, I suppose they converted, and we thought they might have had a chance, but I thought our defense did a really good job in getting off the field. And then I think it was it 50 seconds left, and we were down inside our 20, and I was like, here we go. I had great confidence in the offense, and Tyler in the offense. So they've been clutch this past couple of games. So yeah, look, I was just delighted to get the opportunity, and we've got a great operation, and I never even have to think about the ball being in the right spot with the right hole, because Zach and Kay are so good. And just it was a cool moment, and one I'll never forget.
Were you ready to hit from 66?
Yeah, there was a part of me was like, I wouldn't mind this, because I've got confidence from that range, and I've hit a lot of the longer ones in pre-games recently, and I suppose when you get in those moments you get more adrenaline. That means I get more power in my kick. So that's the way I like to channel it. And look, no, it was 47. We'll take it a little easier, but look, I was ready to hit that one if we needed it as well. So it was a cool moment now, and the boys and the protection as well today. Like Carolina's got a really good field goal block unit, so just delighted now to convert.
What do you do to kind of stay calm in the moments leading up to big kicks like this? Do you like to talk to people? Do you have to go stand by yourself?
Yeah, no, I like being I like just staying around with Zach and Kay. And then you go back to what you've done before, So I remember my first kick in the preseason last year. It was a game winner, and I suppose you just go back to I call it an evidence wall, and any chance we've had the converting games. I think the record's pretty good. So just going back to that, and the boys did a great job getting us in that position. But yeah, look, I'm pretty ecstatic right now, to be honest.
I'm just checking to see if I'm right here. Your last job before this one was school teacher, right?
Yeah, I graduated as a primary school teacher with Irish language in the summer of 23, and then started kicking football since the start of August. I'd signed up to do a master's at home as well in St Mary's in Belfast, and but then the kind of kicking football's kind of got in the way of that, and I was told there was a chance to go and kick at a combine in Indianapolis, which I was very much aware of because of how big a fan of the sport I was back home. And once the NFL was mentioned, you just parked everything. I was like, this is what's meant to be, because I had a skill in my other sport, Gaelic football, where I could kick the ball pretty far and accurate, and I kind of thought I had a good chance to translate it over to the NFL then.
So if you're getting a chance to tell yourself and you're teaching Irish language and you're kicking field goals in the NFL,
yeah,
your reaction?
I suppose I'll go back to it. If you told me, what is it, over probably just over 27 months or so, if you told me I'd be kicking a game winner in the NFL, I probably would have laughed at you. Even would I ever thought I've had the chance of coming over here and playing sport even in college or whatever, because I didn't know what way the eligibility system worked. But just the way things panned out, it's been really a dream scenario. And again, coming from myself, I've been such a fan of the sport for so long and always thought I could kind of do it. And it was just awesome now. I love it here. This city has treated me really well. This organisation, everybody, to even look at me in the first place whenever I had no football experience. Just so grateful to everybody in this organisation to help me develop. And I think we're going to reap the rewards from that now.
How many cell phone messages did you have? Text messages did you have?
I don't know. I remember after the Miami game, there's probably over 1,000, and it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I haven't really had the chance to look at my phone yet. So I'd say it might be in my top half. I'm not sure.
When did you know the game winner was?
I suppose you feel the contact, right, and then you just give a quick glance and saw it was going down the middle. So I think I've got a habit of looking, seeing it's good, and then sort of turning away, or I'm not really in control of my body at that stage. So whatever happens, and I think I might have looked at their sideline. I probably shouldn't have done that, but look, division opponent, it's a big rivalry or whatever. So it was a fun moment, yeah, for sure.
You definitely did look at their side.
Yeah, I know I did.
Are you gonna frame that picture now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but look, yeah, I'll definitely never forget it anyway. So yeah, look, you know, but this is, you know, for me, you know, I'm still in the practice squad, so I want to be a part of this team, and I want to play here. I love it here. You know, it nearly feels like home here. You know, and obviously in America, I feel like I've got two homes now, New Orleans and Mayo Bridge. So it's pretty cool. You know.
Pretty sure you won't be on the practice squad.
Okay, look, you know, I'll just do my thing, and that the rest would take care of itself.
This was the last time we elevated you before having to keep you in the active most, but what does it mean to have a moment to be able to prove yourself like that again?
Yeah, look, it's pretty cool. You know, I mean, every kicker in the NFL, I mean, I would like to think most guys in the league would dream of, you know, hitting game winners, and it's a pretty cool moment. It's where you feel like you can really help win games for your team. And I know obviously all the other kicks before that are just as important, but you know, those moments do mean a lot. And you know, I suppose the outside world would say there's a lot of pressure on you, but I like to think I embrace those moments and say, look, you know, along with our, you know, snap hold, I know it's going to be perfect, and it's just up to, you know, to go out and execute everything you've been practicing for the last 2 years.
How did you handle your first miss last week? Obviously, it was going to happen at some point. But.
Yeah. Well, I just looked at it. It was strictly just a technical thing, and you know, I watched the film back, and it was great actually. This week was alumni week, and we had John Carney in, so it was just a perfect week to get working with John and take a look at the film and even analyse some of the makes I've had in practice and in games, and like, what's the ball doing and what way am I lined up, you know, just little small technical things. And I knew it wasn't like, oh, I was nervous in Tampa. It wasn't that. It was just a strictly a technical thing, and I think we took a look at the film and made the corrections this week.
You've worked with John before, right?
Yeah, I've worked with John. First met John in, I think it was June of 24 of last year, just before training camp, and he was really good. And you know, even just some of the basics, fundamentals, like they are still that my controllable thoughts that I've learned from John. And you know, he's had a great career here as well. I see him up in the banner as part of the Super Bowl winning team. So yeah, look, you know, he's a legend of this place, and it was cool. I got to chat to Garrett Hartley yesterday as well, and you know, I know like this place has got some pretty legendary kickers, and you know, Dempsey as well, and Morton Anderson, like, you know, so it's pretty cool to, you know, get to kick for a team like this with such you know, historic kickers as part of their franchise.
What about your love for this city and this place and wanting to be here? What did it mean to be able to have that moment in this city?
Yeah, look, it was awesome. You know, it's pretty cool hearing the Saints fans, you know, cheering like that. And you know, I think the crowd got really, really loud today on the 3rd and 4th downs, and look, you know, it definitely helps when this place is rocking, and you know, it's pretty cool, and it's up to us to, you know, give the fans moments like that to celebrate. And yeah, look, you know, I suppose, you know, I come into this city and didn't know much about it when I first came here. It's hot, but now it's pretty good now, to be fair. But look, no, I love it. You know, the people are great. You know, everybody is just Saints mad here. I don't think there's too many cities like that in America where the football team is literally the main market of the city, and you know, that's, you know, we just want to give this city a winning team, and I would love to be a part of that.
You said during the offseason, like, you were telling Uber drivers you were notorious. You think you can keep getting away with that?
Yeah, hopefully we can sell it. Look, I don't know. It's a good job now. I'm driving, so we don't have to encounter that. But I mean, I remember last year just making up all the stories and whatever. And why do you have an Irish accent in New Orleans? You know, so just trying to, you know, we're just visiting. You know, it's a pretty cool place, good tourist spot, and you know, you give them the whole, we'll go down to Bourbon or whatever, and you know, have a bit of fun there. But look, no, it's funny.